Hi, I'm Kylie Stewart, and I'm doing my third Read, Watch, and Respond. Um, this time I read a book or a story from Literature and Gender. It's by Seamus Dean um, on page 138, and it's Accident, June 1948. This book, or this story, it was a pretty easy read, but I feel like to understand it better, I read it more than once. Um, it basically starts out where the narrator is talking about um, a boy he sees standing behind a truck, and then suddenly the truck goes forward, then backwards, and runs the boy over. And like people all gather around. The mother comes over and sits down, and then people like block her from seeing her son laying there covered in blood. And then the police show up, and that's where it got interesting because it said that one of the police officers walked around to everyone with a like a notepad and basically like was asking questions, trying to figure out what happened, and nobody talked to him. It said. It says 2 policemen got out, and one of them bent down and looked under the lorry. He stood up and pushed his cap back on his head and rubbed his hands on his thighs. I think he felt sick. His distress reached me airborne like a smell and a small vertigo. I sat down on the wall. Where was I? The lorry seemed to lurch again. The second policeman had a notebook in his hand, and he went round to each of the men who had been standing at the corner where it happened. They all turned their backs on him. Then the ambulance came. I thought this was interesting because in today's society we have a lot of problems with police officers and people not respecting them. So it later goes on, it talks about how the narrator was just thinking about the accident and what he saw for months, and just kind of like reliving it, and then he was kind of it says that no more than a year later, when we were hiding from police in a cornfield after they had interrupted us chopping down a tree for the annual bonfire on the 15th of August. It's Danny Green told me in detail how young Hanaway had been run over by a police car, which had not even stopped. Bastards, he said, shining the blade of his axe with wet grass. So I guess that explains where they got the hatred for the police officers. But I just think it's interesting because police officers, like, their job is to serve and protect us. And it amazes me how much people, like, how little respect they get. They're out there risking their lives every single day. And people still, they don't care. People call them when they're in need, and they show up and they get disrespected. It's just really sad because people have no respect for authority nowadays. They don't have any respect for the law. People complain about them, but they're doing their job. Like, you go to work to do your job, they go to work to do theirs. Their job is to keep you safe and enforce the laws, and many people have a problem following the laws, therefore they have a problem with police officers. overall, I think Accident was, it was interesting. It's definitely not what I expected from the title, but it was a good read, and it really shows, it shows that even though it was written in 1996, that there was still police problems back then, and there's still police problems now, and that honestly not that much has changed. Thank you.